Peachy. Peachy can tell. Oh. I'm just doing my hair. I just washed my hair. So that's why the style is different. And I'm actually taking out these dreads that I did here on the front hairs. Like I mentioned before, this is where I got most of my what is it? Postpartum hair loss. This is where I got most of my postpartum hair loss in the front here. Hence why it's shorter than the rest. And I did twist my hair up. These are twists that hopefully will turn into dreads again. But I might actually thicken them because I'm thinking, you know what? They might be a little bit too thin. I can unwind one of these. Where is it? So I'm thinking they might be a little bit too thin. So I might combine a lot of them. But anyways, the reason I'm here is to talk about some safety stuff as women, just as women, you know, as we are going out about our day-to-day lives. Let me go down here because I feel like I'm too tall for this. As we go about our day-to-day lives, so I'm trying something different here. So never mind me going back and forth between two topics. Because I don't want to put any tension on these baby hairs. What I'm going to be doing is just, I'm going to see if I can just get some hair gel. Now, topic I want to talk about is safety for women. The things we need to look out for when we're out there. Because at the end of the day, unfortunately, most of the people that are able to help us, which are other men when we're in trouble, usually are not going to believe certain stories that these things actually happen to women. They're just not going to believe it because, I don't know, in my experience, guys, when you tell them how predatory other men are, they just usually roll their eyes and just be like, yeah, right, did that really happen? But a lot of women, we are very conscious when we go outside of our surroundings because we know we are constantly preyed upon by people. And other men do it in ways that other men might not be triggered by because they haven't had this happening to them their whole lives, or at least since they were pre-teens. I've had men following me, trying to talk to me since I was 12 years old, guys. Maybe even 11 years old. So, let me just talk as I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my hair here. I'm not the best at these, what do you call them? Baby hair hairstyles. This might be too long. I'm just gonna try something here. So a lot of times women we get, followed and catcalled and all that stuff. And usually when you try to tell people about it, usually other women are more empathetic and might understand, but I find generally guys are just like, yeah, right, I'm not saying anyone in particular, like my husband would believe me, obviously, because he's my husband. But I'm just saying in general, what I'm just noticing personally. And I just want to talk about it so that we're all kind of self-aware. If you see a lady out there uncomfortable, body language says a lot. Something like 70% of our communication is body language. So if you see a lady out there and she's uncomfortable and a guy is talking to her or whatever, and the situation just kind of gives you a weird feeling, a weird vibe, you know, get some help. If you yourself don't feel comfortable approaching the situation, call the authorities and just tell them like you need them to come do a wellness check on somebody because there's a situation that seems very dangerous. And you could save someone from potentially getting abducted or potentially getting molested or potentially, you could save someone a lot of trouble and a lot of trauma. You know what, guys? I don't think I'm liking this baby hair stuff. I'm just trying it because everybody's just like, baby hairs, baby hairs. I know I have baby hairs, but I'm not sure I like the look. Okay, so this hair is definitely too long up here. Am I doing this right? Can somebody please help me out here? Because I feel like I am so butchering this. I know what I should have done was probably watch a tutorial on how to do these baby hair stuff, like laying off your baby hairs. And usually the reason I don't do baby hairs is just because for a long time I didn't want to manipulate my baby hairs too much. And secondly, it's not a look that I really was a big fan of to begin with. Do I need a stronger gel or something? I'm using this Ecomax. Anyway, let me just try. So yeah, if you see someone in trouble that looks very uncomfortable in a certain situation, please speak up. Even if, okay, so here's some of the tips, some of the things that might save you or somebody else. Usually predators look for women or people that look vulnerable. So if they're alone, for instance, right? If they're alone, if they're young, those are all key points of being vulnerable. And if they're the quiet type, they're not loud, they're not running their mouth or anything like that. They just don't appear as very talkative. They're kind of on the quiet and shy side. Those are the kinds of people they typically look for because they don't want to approach somebody that's going to make a scene and bring attention to them. That's the last thing that predators want. They do not want a scene. And we all know people that wherever they go, people are going to turn heads and look because whatever they are talking about, doesn't matter how mundane, they're going to be loud about it. So usually, those are not typically the kind of people that predators are looking for. So, with that in mind, keeping that in mind, if you see somebody that looks like they're in trouble, dare to be the loud person. Dare to be the person that a predator does not want to be caught around. Make a lot of noise. Like I approach women, when I see women that seem in distress, I'm a quiet person. But that day, I become very loud. I will holler at them from across the street and be like, "Hey girl, are you okay? How you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time." Like I would pretend like I know them, okay? I'll just be like, "Oh my gosh, girl, I haven't seen you in so long. It's so nice seeing you again." Even though we're perfect strangers, like I don't care. I will be the loudest person on that street. Doesn't matter what time of night it is. If I see somebody, that I think is potentially being preyed upon, and my woman intuition is telling me like this girl or this woman needs help, I will for sure be the loudest person on the block. I would rather have the neighbors call the police and say, oh, yeah, there's somebody in our neighborhood that is being very loud and disturbing us. Okay. And then at least the police help will be on the way. At least help will be on the way. And I would rather be wrong and then just explain to the police that, listen, there was this strange, sketchy situation here. And it just did not look right. And I'm typically not a loud person, but for today, I became loud because, you know what? This lady looked like she needed help. And I'd rather run the risk of being wrong than to not do anything and my intuition ends up being right about that person, right? And then the next thing, there's another Amber Alert, or the next thing, another missing persons poster being put up. You know what I mean? Or just another traumatized young woman who just went through something that she didn't have to go through. So be loud. If you're by yourself and you are seeing somebody following you, be very loud. They don't like loudness. They really don't. Okay, now I know why I don't like this baby hair stuff, because you're literally pasting the hair on your face. You really are. Like, seriously, you're pasting the hair right on your face. And I'm not too sure I like the feeling of it. I just cleansed my face. Guys. So I'm not too sure if I'm going to keep this. So yeah, so be the loud friend, or quote unquote sudden friend. I call it the loud sudden friend. Be the loud sudden friend that just comes out of nowhere and you're just loud as hell. They do not like that, right? Don't feel like you have to be nice to somebody when they're clearly are sexually harassing you or just harassing you in general. Or persisting that you give them your number when you have made it clear that you are not interested. Potty. You see, I knew you needed to go potty. Didn't I tell you were doing a potty dance? You always wait until it's almost too late. I just came in the living room and I told you, hey, you look like you need to go potty. And then you told me, no, you don't need to go potty. But look, you actually needed to go potty. So yeah, be the loudest person. Be loud, okay? If they don't take no for an answer, you don't owe them any kindness. And I feel like this mentality, this psychology that we're taught as women, always smile, always be kind. I'm just tricking you that I don't have to go potty. Okay, you don't need to trick me, because the next thing you're gonna wet yourself. Then your trick is gonna be on yourself. You're gonna trick yourself. Okay? Anyways, I would say you don't owe anyone any kindness. These psychologies that, these old school psychologies that women have to smile all the time, have to be kind and whatever. And if somebody's trying to talk to you, just be kind and courteous and whatever. No, guys, you don't always have to be kind to somebody, especially if they're invading your personal space.
Mommy, can you get off of this?
Yeah, but you gotta flush. Remember? Swipe and flush.
Now can I get off?
Let me just clean my hair off first. Can I clean my hair off? Because you're gonna open the faucet and wash it down the drain. Okay? Excuse me.
But then how will I wash hands?
That's why I'm getting up right now and putting this in the garbage so you can wash hands.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I have to win the race?
You have to win the race. It's a race now?
Yeah. I won the race. I win the race.
Oh, what are you doing?
Oops, sorry. I forgot that you were in there.
Oh, okay. Leon, go eat your lunch. Go eat your lunch. Because you didn't eat your lunch yet. All you're doing is trying to eat. Go eat your lunch. I didn't touch any buttons. Yes, you gotta eat it. You gotta eat vegetables. Okay, let's try this and see what all the big fuss is about. With this lay down baby hair things. But I bet you. After the cucumber, I told you I made it already. It's waiting for you. So finish the cucumber. These kids. Sorry, guys. So my point was, anyways, before we got rudely interrupted here, my point was that don't be passive. Okay, with anyone that gives you a bad vibe. I grew up with the same freaking, this social miseducation that, if a guy's trying to talk to you, be empathetic to guys, because it's so hard for guys to approach women and even talk to women. So when they're approaching you, don't be rude to them. Okay, listen, I empathize with the fact that, yes, rejection hurts, okay, it hurts, and most times men do approach women, but there's a reason, because most times men are the ones that are disproportionately interested in women, when we are just interested in going about our day, and we're not interested in men. So there's a disproportionate interest here that is creating this, and I feel like this notion of, consider men's feelings and be empathetic, that, rejection hurts and blah, 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 blah. Okay, you're telling women to constantly be conscious of men's feelings, right, when it comes to rejection, but you're not teaching men to be constantly conscious of women's feelings when you're approaching them. First of all, you're interrupting our day because we're on our way doing something. You're interrupting us. Secondly, we don't owe you anything. Just because you find us attractive does not mean we owe you a kind word or anything. Okay? But if we are kind, a lot of guys, especially these catcalling dudes, take advantage of that. And they think, oh, she's so kind, I can push harder, maybe she'll say yes if I push harder. No. You are mistaking my kindness for being a doormat. It's not the same thing. Because if you disrespect me as a woman, after I tell you no, I'm not interested in you, or I have to tell you no, I have a man. That's okay. After I tell you no, I have a man, or that I'm married.
And now put.
No, it's just cucumber, baby. Just wipe your hands. You don't need soap. It's cucumber. Cucumber is good for your skin.
Cucumber is good for your skin?
Yeah, hold on. I'll come get your food. I'll come get your food in a minute.
I finished it already.
Okay, so you want your sandwich now?
No thanks.
No sandwich?
Nope.
Oh, you're only saying this because you want to go play games. That's the only reason you're saying that. I can tell. Because you asked me for a sandwich when you came in the bathroom. And now you're saying no sandwich because you...
I'm talking about bananas and peanut butter and you
Please do not yell at me. Excuse me. Please do not yell at me. I am your mother. Do not yell at me. If you need to take time to go do deep breathing and calm down, go calm down, then tell me what you mean. Don't talk to me like that.
I didn't say sandwich.
Go bananas and peanut butter? That's what you want?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Go sit down. I'll bring you bananas. Okay, I'll give you bananas and peanut butter then. These kids. So yeah, sorry for the interruption again. For these kids. So yeah, if you disrespect women, and we're not teaching men to consider how women are feeling when they're being approached, and bear in mind, guys, you're not the first dude that approached us in the day. If we're out minding our business and you guys are approaching us, trust and believe you are not the first dude in the day that's approaching us. We are up to our eyebrows in approaches. We are done. We are tired. Okay. There's certain interactions you just get tired of because you're not getting anything out of it. Okay. Guys are trying to get your number out of it, they're trying to get your attention, but we're not getting anything out of it, especially if it's somebody that we're not interested in. And what if one of those approaches was somebody we were interested in and we said yes to them and we're not interested in the rest? The rest is just all a waste of our time. You're literally stopping us. Everywhere we go, you're stopping us. That's a lot of time wasted. If somebody stopped you, let's say every hour you're walking somewhere or every 30 minutes you're going somewhere, that's a lot of waste of your time. It's aggravating. And that's why sometimes, by the time you start talking to a woman, don't worry about the TV. It just does that. It's saving power. It's not turning anything off. It's just saving power. These kids. So yeah, my point is be conscious of this. I want men to be taught to be conscious of how women feel, how we might feel because of what we're going through all day. We're being approached by different dudes saying, can I have your number? Can I talk to you? Can I this? Can I that? So, men, and I'm going to teach my sons and other women teach your sons to be conscious of how women feel constantly being approached. We're not waiting for you all day. Our day is not made up of us waiting for you to come and approach us and ask us for our number. That's not what our day is about. We have a whole lot of other things going on in our lives. And our lives do not revolve around men. They really don't. We have a lot of other things to do. We have children to take care of. We have a lot of things to do. So, I want men to be conscious of how women feel, not the other way around, telling women to be conscious of, oh yeah, if a guy's approaching you, be conscious that he really is making an effort and he must be really feeling like this, feeling like that. No, I'm sorry. That's not my business. You're the one who decided to approach me. How you feel is really not my business. And if I'm kind enough of a human being to just give you the basic courtesy, to just be like, okay, well, you're shooting your shot, whatever. I'm not going to be rude. I'm just going to respond to you kindly and say, no, thank you. Back off right away. Don't try to be persuasive. Yes, it's saving power. If you cry over these games, the more you keep interrupting me while I'm doing my video, and if you cry over games, I'm turning the whole thing off. I'm shutting it off. Because that means you cannot control your own emotions over these games. They're controlling you. And this is not the kind of person that I am raising. Okay? So be very careful how you're doing things. If you're going to cry over games, they're getting shut down. Plain and simple. Okay, so stop crying over games. The TV does this. It saves power because it's a lot of electricity to keep it on like this. A lot of electricity. So, anyways, can I talk now in my video without you interrupting every 2 seconds? Can I finish talking on my video now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And make sure that you don't give me the sandwich. And make sure that you don't give me the sandwich.
So, anyways, what was I saying? Men, you need to be conscious of how women are feeling and what we're going through. Don't be asking me to be conscious of, your feelings and how you get rejected every time you approach women. That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. I'm sorry. That is a men problem. That is not a women problem. Okay? How much rejection you go through when you talk to women, that's not a problem. I'm sorry. It's not a problem. No, I'm not sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. It's really not our problem. Don't make your issues our problem. I always say this. When I was in high school, it irritated me, the guys that were approaching me because of their hormones are raging, and you're making your hormones my issue. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I should stop saying that. Those are one of the key things that predators look for, from what I heard. Women that say I'm sorry a lot. And we are socialized to say I'm sorry a lot. We are socialized to always be apologizing for our thoughts, how we feel, and pretty much everything. And what we want. We're constantly apologizing for that. And I'm really trying to train myself away from that, because that's literally one of the things that they look for. They literally listen to your speech and how you speak when they approach you, and then determine how vulnerable of a person you are for them to be able to take advantage of you. And if you apologize a lot as a woman, that's one of the key things that they actually look for, guys. Ladies, this is one of the things they actually look for. So be very, very, very conscious of how you're speaking to men, or how you're responding to men, especially out there. And don't play this whole empathy. Oh, if it was your son, trust me, if it was my son, the way I'm raising my sons, I'm raising them to be respectful. Do not prioritize only what you want over somebody else's consent. Okay, if they don't consent, leave them alone. What you want does not take priority over their consent and their comfort. You're taking away their peace of mind for those few minutes that you're approaching them. Because of your selfishness, because you want something from them. And then when you don't get what you want, you turn around and call them selfish for not. Liam, can you stop with the noise? I will turn the games off. I told you I'm doing a video.
No, don't take.
So stop banging on the table. You can see me making the food right now. What's the reason you're banging on the table right now? Please explain. Why are you banging on the table? I'm the one who had to drag you off the games to ask you if you want to eat. You were not getting up. I'm the one who had to come and ask you if you need to go potty, because you weren't getting up, even though you did need to go potty and you are hungry. And now I'm making the food and you're banging on the table. Excuse you, that's very rude.
I'm just waiting.
So wait nicely. Wait nicely. Because you're interrupting this whole video. I'm doing a video, I'm talking to people, and you're interrupting the whole video, banging on the table. What is that? Do you think that's nice, or is it rude what you're doing? I am making you food and you're busy banging on the table and interrupting my video while I'm making you food. Don't you think that's a little bit weird? Isn't it? The person that's helping you right now and making you food, you're interrupting their video and what they're doing. If you want me to help you, you need to help me. If you don't help me, I'm not helping you. I had to drag you off the game. If you're this hungry, you should get up off the game and say, Mommy, I'm hungry. But you didn't. I had to ask you how many times. Do you need to pee? Are you hungry? Do you want food? And you kept telling me, no, 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 no. So you're waiting until it's too late. You're waiting until it's too late when you gotta go pee. You're waiting until it's too late when you're starving in your belly. Is that what you're doing?
No.
So why are you banging on the table? You should be very patient right now, considering you just told me you're not hungry. You just told me you're not hungry. So you should be patiently waiting right now. Patiently waiting. Not banging on the table. Didn't you tell me you're not hungry? So were you lying? Are you starving?
Yeah.
So next time when you're playing games, I gave you 20 minutes. When the 20 minutes is up, get up, go potty, and ask for some food. Do you understand me? Or no more games at all? None. Zero.
I understand.
Good.
There's two forks.
Yeah, so this is one thing I'm learning raising sons is that for some reason, boys, men are just kind of more selfishly oriented by nature, as you can just see by this whole display that just happened here. He's playing video games, which I gave him because he did his homework, right? And it was a treat for doing his homework for about 20 minutes. And I usually set a timer and I tell him when the timer is done, please remove yourself from the games and go potty, because I know he needs to go potty. And eat some food. I already had this made. It was sitting in the fridge waiting for him. And I told him where his food is because I was trying to take a shower and get things done. So, boys are a little bit more selfishly oriented, I find, and need a little bit more work when it comes to being empathetic towards other human beings and realizing that the world does not revolve around them. That this is a world that we are coexisting with other people. And I think this is where a lot of people are going wrong. Girls, I find girls are more empathetic naturally as young, from a young age. My nieces were, it was never an issue. You know what I mean? Like my nieces played games, video games too, but I even lived with them at some point, and this was never an issue where they're like, they can't get up off the video games because they're just, too engrossed in the video games. And then even when you finally get them off of the video games, then they're going to be rude to you while you're trying to make the food for them. See what I mean? Because now they're impatient because they waited too long. I never had that issue.
That happens just like the big phone.
Yes, it saves power that way. So yeah.
Just like the big phone. Just like the big phone.
Can I please do my video?
Okay.
Can you eat your food?
Okay.
I'm gonna eat his sandwich now.
I couldn't get out, and now it dropped on my chair.
Okay, that's fine.
I need to.
You're fine. If it's on your chair already, it's too late for it. The baby, baby's sleeping. I can hear him waking up with all this noise you're making. Oh. He's really gonna wake the baby up. Okay, be quiet. If you keep making all this noise and ruckus, I'm turning the games off. I'm telling you, this is your last warning. I think it's too late. He already got woken up. So basically, my whole point is, teach your sons to be respectful, okay? Because a lot of boys demand respect. A lot of men demand respect. You should respect me when I'm talking to you. You should respect me when I'm trying to get your number and you don't really want to give me your number. Don't be rude to me. Don't be whatever, because it takes a lot for me to come out and even talk to women, which is really a them problem, not an our problem, not a women's problem. So teach your boys that their issues they should not project their issues onto women. That's the main issue we're having in this world, where men are being predators towards women. A lot of them don't intend, they're not getting out of the house thinking, I'm going to prey on this woman. They're just thinking, this is what I want, right? And then they cross the line because they're thinking very selfishly. So when a woman says no, they're like, oh, wait a minute, what? You know what I mean? And a lot of them are very entitled too. They feel entitled to the female form for whatever reason, maybe because of media and porn and all that stuff that's misinforming them and miseducating them. So you as parents, be the front line. Educate your kids that regardless of porn and all that stuff, they are not entitled to the female form. They are not entitled to women. Do not make your problems with your hormones and your groins and whatever your sexual needs don't make that woman's problems. If you meet a woman and she's willing to and she gives consent, she says yes, then fine. But if she's saying no and you're trying to convince her to partake in something that she has no interest in whatsoever, she doesn't have the same needs you do. She didn't wake up that morning needing that. And because if she did, she would have been pursuing you, right? She's the one who would have been catcalling the guys. Because girls, when we want what we want, we're not afraid to just go out and get what we want and be like, hey, what's up? Are you into me? Because I'm into you. We're not, you see. So anyways, my point is this has to be a two-sided thing, a two-way thing. It can't just be like women be conscious of how you're treating boys and how you're, it's very be sensitive about, them approaching. No, boys, teach your boys to be sensitive and to be what do you call it, aware of how they're treating women, and be aware of when women say no, when they don't give consent and say no. They don't have to be nice to you. They don't owe you anything. You just met a stranger, you just interrupted their day to ask them for the most sacred thing, which is their bodies. You want to use their bodies for your own self-gratification, for your own sexual gratification. And if they find that irritating, that's their right to find that irritating. It is our right to find that irritating, that I'm going about my day, I'm busy, somebody interrupts me solely because they find me attractive and they want my body to gratify them. It can be irritating, yes. So I feel like boys should be educated on the fact that, yes, you can be irritating to women. Most chances are you're going to be irritating to most women when you're approaching them about your needs that you have, that you want them to fulfill, that they don't have a need for you, right? Because if they did, they would have already said yes. Anyways, and women, be very, very careful. Do not be too kind. This kindness thing is something that was taught by the patriarchy in order for them to prey on women. Always smile, always be kind, always be gentle, and always be whatever. Hold on. No, you're not going back right away because I need to take that off. You woke the baby. You see he's up. So I need to take it off the TV and then you can play it on the console.
Okay.
And I need to think about it too because you were being very rude to me. So I'm not too sure if that's something that I even want to do. I have to think about that. Because like I said, the world does not revolve around you. You get games when you behave well. When you do your homework and you behave well. But when you're yelling at mommy and interrupting my videos, I'm sorry.
Now you got the control.
No, sit down. I have to go get the baby. Do not yell at me again. I said sit down because I am thinking about what I'm going to do. I did listen. Did you listen to me? Did you listen to me when I said you were yelling at me? You were being very rude to me. You were yelling at me. You were interrupting my video. You're still interrupting my video, even now. Even now. And you woke the baby with all the noise you were making. But you still want me to be nice to you. I did. Liam, I listened to what you said. Don't tell me I'm not listening because I did listen to what you said and I answered you. The problem is you didn't listen to my answer. This is where we're having a problem. Now you need to sit down and take some deep breaths. Anyways, teach your boys. It's not all about them. I'm going to go because I have to get the baby. I have to deal with this one who's just feeling entitled to everything. I'll see you guys later. Be safe out there, ladies. Be safe. Don't be too kind. Don't smile at them. If they're giving you a hard time, be loud. Embarrass them. Be loud. Do some crazy shit. Make them run away. Make them want to not be around you. Okay?